Eng.
Hi, Miss Rebecca. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to meet whoever you're introducing.
Yeah, I've taken a little bit of a detour and just been doing some bedtime books about characters that are dreaming and thinking big and things like that. But then I realized that I had a lot of these books that I put in a big pile, and they got covered up, and I forgot about Mary Shelley. And there's a couple more.
Ooh, Frankenstein.
But I don't know how to pronounce her name. Greta. I don't know how to say that young girl's name. Thunberg?
I think so.
Okay. Alright. Got her too. So, sorry.
I love Mary Shelley.
But I think we've heard some other really good stories. So, yeah. Tonight's Little People Big Dreams is about Mary Shelley. Okay? And it is written by Isabella Sanchez Vergara. And it is illustrated by Yelena Brishkenkova. And here's the thing. Miss Rebecca, have you ever read her seminal work? Have you read Frankenstein?
Yes, I love Frankenstein.
Really?
I love Frankenstein.
I could not get through Frankenstein.
What? I would
don't
suggest
know what's
it to
wrong with me.
not anybody. Like any
Super special grown-up?
like teen, teen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I thought it was so good, but I can say I believe I read it during library school.
Okay.
So that was
it required reading in library?
maybe during my YA course where we had to read dozens of books that were required, which was wonderful.
Yeah.
It felt intimidating at first, but it was really wonderful. But I just loved Frankenstein.
Did you have Dr. Biagini for a while?
Yep.
I never had her for anything.
Oh,
I was supposed to be her GSA.
I don't know what that means.
Like her student, her
Assistant? Graduate student assistant?
Yeah.
Well, when I got her binder,
she scared me, so
I was scared of that course, but it was good.
Yeah,
she's good.
I hear she's wonderful. I've heard so many good things. Miss Jill, who works here, she's a school librarian, and Miss Dr. Biagini's in charge of that track, and still does stuff. I don't know if she's retired from Pitt's Library School or not.
She was good. She was, it was a packed course load, but but it was good.
Did you have Dr. Kimmel for children's literature? Maggie Kimmel?
Maybe.
I loved her. My brother and I both had her. My brother took children's
Maybe.
literature with me too. My brother's a librarian too, friends. He's a librarian at the Park of Bethel. Yep.
I was born and bred in the park.
Yeah, I do love the park.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Okay, anyway. So, Mary Shelley, Little People, Big Dreams. And maybe I'll try to read Frankenstein again. Is it scary?
It is suspenseful. I feel like it is not scary. And a lot of people don't know that Frankenstein is not the monster.
I know. A lot of people think Frankenstein's the doctor. Dr. Frankenstein. And Frankenstein's monster doesn't have a name, I don't think.
And who is the monster in the story?
The monster is at the end of this book. Not really.
I think next time I'll just record you because we got off the rails again.
We did. That's because we didn't have our podcast. But there was an episode of the podcast this week.
I listened.
You can find it. It's only 22
I saw a headline about Kroger's earlier.
People
I thought
ask for
about
advice.
you.
So check out our podcast, the Super Special Grown Up Podcast, now with 4 episodes. Mary Shelley. Baby Mary was the child of 2 writers, a famous feminist and a well-known philosopher. She was born in London at a time of great challenge and amazing inventions. But Mary's mother became ill after she was born. The doctors couldn't do anything, and she died when Mary was just 11 days old. A few years later, her father married their neighbor. When her new stepmother and children arrived at her house, Mary knew they would not get along. You can tell by her face. Mary had a secret retreat that she visited every day, her mother's grave at St. Pancras Churchyard. There, she spent hours reading her mother's books and writing her own stories. At night, Mary would hide behind the sofa and listen to the many artists who visited her father. One of them was a married poet named Percy Bysshe Shelley. To everyone's surprise, Mary and Percy fell in love and ran away from London. Only Claire, Mary's stepsister, stood by their side, traveling through Europe with them. They went to Switzerland, where they visited Lord Byron, a famous poet. It was a rainy summer, and to pass the time, Lord Byron challenged his guests to write a horror story.
Ooh.
Around this time, scientists discovered that the brain uses electricity to move the body. Mary was fascinated with this and thought it would be a great subject to write about which to write. For days, Mary busied herself with the story. One night, a terrifying image appeared in her dream. A creature made of old body parts. The next morning, Mary began to write Frankenstein, the story of a monster with yellow skin and watery eyes brought to life with an electric shock. She chose not to use the computer. Mary's book became an instant success, but her name was kept secret for 5 years. Many people thought that such a terrifying story could only have been written by a man. I don't really know if that's a compliment to women or not. I don't know.
Good point.
Mary kept writing all her life, but Frankenstein remained her best novel and the greatest horror story ever written. It became a classic, retold over and over again. And still today, millions of readers feel a chill when they read Frankenstein, a story written by a fearless girl who became the mother of modern science fiction. And Mary Shelley was born in 1797. She died in 1851, so that's probably why she didn't use a computer. And Frankenstein's monster has been the feature of many films, and there's like The Bride of Frankenstein, The Chicken of Frankenstein, all kind of things like that. It says it was the greatest horror book ever written, which is interesting. Now, I have read Dracula, which
I have not.
Dracula, I got to tell you this, super special grounds. Dracula was so scary. I was listening to it, and I was driving to San Diego by myself in the middle of winter. And I had nightmares every night on that road trip in the hotel room by myself, wherever I was. It scared the bejesus out of me. I'm telling you. It was scary to listen to anyway. But I have yet to check out Frankenstein. But this is Mary Shelley, and I'm going to try Frankenstein again.
Do it.
See what happens.
Do it.
Yeah. My friends, would you please give your beautiful brain a kiss? Would you please give your loving heart a kiss? And would you look in that mirror, please? And say, hey, good looking. Because you're all good looking, just the way you are. Thank you.